In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and fascinating abilities in the One Piece world, the voice of all things. This enigmatic power has been subtly woven into the fabric of the story by Eiichiro Oda, leaving fans intrigued and hungry for more answers. First introduced before the time skip by none other than Rayleigh, this ability has grown in significance and complexity as the series progresses. In the latest chapters, especially with the arrival of One Piece Chapter 1120, we see new revelations and intriguing uses of this power, particularly through Luffy and the Iron Giant, Emet. Join us as we unravel the secrets behind the voice of all things, explore its origins, its known users, and its potential implications for the future of One Piece. Buckle up, because this is going to be an exciting journey through the hidden depths of the Grand Line. What is the voice of all things? The voice of all things is an underrated tool. The voice of all things is an amazing ability featured frequently in One Piece. Rayleigh immediately questioned Roger's ability to read poneglyphs. Clearly, Roger reached the final island and discovered the truth of the world, leading many to believe he was a poneglyph reader. However, Rayleigh, the Pirate King's former right-hand man, swiftly dismissed this concept. He claimed that Roger did not read the poneglyphs. He could clearly hear the voice of all things. Essentially, the voice of all things directed Roger to the poneglyphs and allowed him to hear their voices. This allowed him to interpret the stone's message to some extent, but there were restrictions. Roger could not comprehend the underlying meaning of the poneglyph. He merely had an idea what they were about and where they were. Kozuki Oden was responsible for interpreting the poneglyph, and fans know that without him, Roger would never have made it to the final island. Returning to the voice of all things, this tremendous talent has appeared in numerous characters across the One Piece universe. For example, Luffy and Roger are both known to have this power, but many others do as well. For example, Kozuki Oden, a previous member of both the Whitebeard Pirates and the Roger Pirates, has this talent, as did Roger. Momonosuke, Oden's son, also possesses this skill, although it may be even more rare in his case, as he is the only one capable of conversing with Zunisha, making him unique. At the same time, Zunisha is a proficient user of the voice of all things, having communicated with Momonosuke and even Luffy on numerous occasions. This distinguishes this beast while also providing admirers with another example of its mystery skill. There's also the Three-Eyed Tribe in One Piece, who are claimed to be born with the capacity to employ the voice of all things. It's unclear how this works, and why they have this talent is also unknown. However, the Three-Eyed Tribe possesses an innate ability to hear the voice of all things, which is due in large part to the third eye located on their foreheads. However, they must awaken this skill, as it is not present at birth. Fans have only seen one half-blooded member of the Three-Eyed Tribe, Pudding. It is unclear whether a half-blood and a full-blooded Three-Eyed Tribal member differ. Regardless, they have the power to hear the voice of all things. Luffy's usage of voice of all things. Luffy has used the voice of all things on many occasions. More recently, in One Piece Chapter 1120, viewers were introduced to yet another figure who possessed the ability of the voice of all things. This character was none other than Emet, the Iron Giant. Fans are aware that the Iron Giant was pivotal in the Egghead Island arc and will continue to play an interesting role in the future. Looking back at the past chapters in which Emet was active, it seems almost ridiculous that the fans did not understand he was speaking through the voice of all things. It wasn't until One Piece Chapter 1120 that fans realized he was using this power, and it was because none of the other characters near Luffy could hear this giant talk. Emet was clearly exclusively speaking to Luffy, and only the Straw Hat Pirate could hear him. Luffy's connection with him via the voice of all things was intriguing, and fans are aware that more of this would be revealed later than the line. However, Luffy had no idea what was going on around him. This suggests that Luffy currently has no control over the voice of all things. He doesn't realize he has this skill, and he surely doesn't know how to use it correctly in battle or converse with it. Luffy also heard the Sea King's whispers on his route to Fishman Island, although he had no idea how to use it at the time. Luffy heard Zunisha's voice again on Zou, but couldn't do much more than beg Momonosuke to instruct the beast to take action against Jack. Luffy has heard this voice again, but he is unsure how to use it in battle. Similarly, he has no idea how to sound out poneglyphs using this skill. Roger was an expert at using this power, and he knew exactly where the poneglyphs were and how to get closer to them. For Luffy, this ability is still relatively raw, which means he will need to work on it in order to advance as a pirate. Is there a secret usage of the voice of all things? There are hidden applications of the voice of all things. As things stand, there may be a secret use of the voice of all things that fans are unaware of. The voice of all things appears in the One Piece universe to help users understand animals and even inanimate objects. These items have their own voices and stories. Oda introduced this skill so that Luffy could comprehend the voice and even compel others to do things for him. For example, Emet was created by the people of the ancient kingdom, and it is apparent that not everyone can hear it. This also means that not everyone has the ability to command Emet nonetheless. If someone possesses the voice of all things, they can utilize it to control or command him. This power is also possessed by Joy Boy, and Luffy could easily lead Emet in battle utilizing it. Only someone who possesses the voice of all things may connect with it. Similarly, fans are aware that Zenesha can be communicated with through the power of the voice of all things. Not everyone can communicate or control Zenesha. However, figures such as Momo have demonstrated the potential to do so, and if Luffy masters the voice of all things, he may be able to do so as well. The voice of all things will essentially enable him to transform inanimate objects and other mythical monsters into his friends. Characters such as Zenesha will be his helpers in combat, and others, such as the ancient kingdom's technological inventions, will almost probably accompany him. Summary and highlights. The voice of all things enables characters such as Luffy to interact with animals and inanimate things, potentially transforming them into friends. Luffy, like Roger and others, possesses the voice of all things but is unable to completely comprehend or control its combat abilities. The hidden use of the voice of all things may enable users to command mystical creatures such as Emet and gain allies in combat. And there you have it, One Piece aficionados. The voice of all things is truly an underrated and mysterious power that continues to shape the adventures of our favorite Straw Hat pirates. From Roger's legendary journey to Luffy's current exploits, this ability connects the past, present, and future of One Piece in ways we are only beginning to understand. As we eagerly await more chapters and revelations, let's keep theorizing and exploring the vast world that Oda has crafted for us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into One Piece lore, and stay tuned for our next adventure. Until then, keep sailing forward and embracing the mystery and wonder of the Grand Line. Thank you very much for visiting the Mugiwara Review YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our review analysis. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy. What is One Piece anime? One Piece is a manga and anime story about a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be the king of the pirates in the world. As a child, he eats a devil fruit, a strange plant that makes him able to stretch like rubber. Before the show starts, Luffy goes out into the world for the first time and starts to gather a group of pirates. The main group grows over time, but it starts with Luffy, Nami the Navigator, and a swordsman named Roronoa Zoro. At some point, Luffy and his friends are known as the Straw Hat Pirates, and they go on many exciting adventures across the ocean. One Piece is a lot of fun because it's silly. Luffy goes from island to island around the world in the series. Each island has its own setting and theme. It's a pretty fantastical world full of animals that look like people, live skeletons, and other delightfully strange things. Within moments the group is in a winter scene, and the next they are on a tropical island full of giants. The show is full of silly and bright details. For example, Zoro holds a sword in his mouth, a scary military boss wears a cute bulldog hat. And people don't use phones to talk to each other instead. They use special transponder snails that can send and receive messages. Luffy is a carefree person who just wants to eat a tasty meal and laugh at bad jokes. Even though there are some funny parts in the series, a lot of One Piece is about freedom. During his travels, Luffy often takes up guns to help his friends and encourages others to do the same against pirates and government-backed military occupations. The characters in Luffy and his crew get stronger with each fight, which is typical for shonen manga. A lot of the story is about how Luffy beats a problem that seemed impossible to solve and finds some kind of secret power. After each fight, Luffy and his team get stronger and move closer to his main goal, which is to find the One Piece. Why is it called One Piece? The first part of both the manga and the anime shows that Pirate King Gol D is telling the truth about the mythical wealth called the One Piece. One Piece is the name of the show because Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become the next Pirate King. One of Luffy's main goals in the show is mentioned in the show's title. What is the One Piece? The answer to this question is still one of the biggest secrets in the series. It's been more than 1,000 episodes, and we still don't know what One Piece is. We know that the One Piece is the name of the treasure that Gol D collected on his travels because of details in the manga. We still don't know a lot about the treasure, though. There are a lot of ideas from fans about what the One Piece is, but we still don't know what it is or even if it's real. The One Piece could just be the friends Luffy makes along the way.